Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you an Ice Bard build guide for Baldur's Gate 3. So this will be a sword bard, and it's actually extremely powerful because we can do a lot of really cool things with this. So I'll be showing you the entire build guide in this video, so I'll be taking you through all the levels. And we're going to start off as the Bard. Now there's two multi-classes we can do, and I'll be showing those off near the end of this. So as for our cantrips, always take Vicious Mockery. It's an amazing cantrip just because of all the dialogue that they recorded. If you're the face of the party, take Friends. If not, take Minor Illusion or Mage Hand. And as for the spells that we take, Healing Word is a great bonus action heal to pick up downed allies. Thunderwave is a reliable way to knock people off of edges. Tasha's Hideous Laughter is a really great spell to knock creatures prone. And then Dissonant Whispers can potentially frighten a creature, so I'd say those are the best three to start with. As for, we're going to take whatever you want, but I'm going to go with the drum this time. And for our stats, we're going to be mostly dexterity and charisma based with a little bit of constitution for overall survivability. We want to have a decent bit of wisdom too, because it's going to be a very common save. Now, something like this can look good, and then we can put the rest of the points on either strength or intelligence. I'll go into intelligence for the purposes of this. So ideally, you could also go with 17 charisma and use the Hag's Hair to take it up even higher. I'll be going through the full gear options at the end of this video, and there's actually some really nice ones too. So level 2, we get Song of Rest, which is nice. It gives us an extra short rest, so your warlocks get their spell slots back. As for the next cantrip, Longstrider is awesome. I really like that. Extra 3 meters movement speed is very nice, especially on a build like this where we want to be mobile. So we'll go with that there. As for our subclass, we're going to take the College of Swords because there's some really nice options. We get Defensive Flourish to increase armor class by 4, and then our Slashing Flourishes, which allows us to target someone with a bow twice. So we can attack the same target twice with that. Very nice. And as for our next leveled spell, Hold Person is by and far the best. Hold enemies still and they can't move, act, or react, and attacks within 3 meters are always critical hits, so that's really nice. And for our fighting style, I think that two-weapon fighting is the best choice here, although if you're using a shield, the extra 2 damage can be nice. But it's either one of these two, whatever you think works best for your particular setup. I'm just going to go with the 2-weapon fighting, although I am using a shield, I will switch around, show you what you can do. We'll take Mage Hand for the next cantrip, and then Invisibility is another really nice spell. We also get greater invisibility a little bit later on, so those two spells are very nice. Although some people really like Cloud of Daggers, 4d4 slashing damage, and also Heat Metal is kind of nice because it can give disadvantage on attack rolls and potentially make them drop their weapon. So that is huge. And then as for the feat, I think it's best to go with either an increase to our dexterity or charisma. Charisma will have a higher spell save, and then dexterity will give us higher attack and higher armor class. I'm going to go with a higher dexterity at first. We also get our improved bardic inspiration up to a 1d8, and then for the spells at level 3, Glyph of Warding is really good because this doesn't require any concentration and it can deal a good amount of damage. So we're going to go with that there. And then for our next leveled spell, I think that it's best to go with Plant Growth is really nice. Fear is another really good one. Targets drop everything, become fearful. So they drop their weapon, you can pick it up. Really nice. And Plant Growth is good too for crowd control. Doesn't require concentration. So one of those two works well for this build. Pick whatever one you prefer. As for our next leveled spell, I think that Greater Invisibility is huge because with the Band of the Mystic Scoundrel, we can use this as a bonus action. Same thing as Confusion. One of these two works really well. We're going to go Confusion first level, and then we'll take Greater Invisibility at next level. So there we go for that, and then Greater Invisibility. This is really nice, turns ourselves invisible, and then we have advantage on our attacks. Now for our next feat, you can go with something like Sharpshooter. I think Sharpshooter actually works very well in this instance, so ranged weapons with their attack will have a -5 to their attack roll and receive an additional 10 damage, which is huge. However, you can take an ability improvement score to take up your charisma too. That's another great option, so which one of those you prefer. And even Alert for +5 to initiative is another great choice because +5 initiative is massive. Now for our next leveled spell, I think that Hold Monster is the best choice here because this is another enchantment spell we can cast as a bonus action, and it can make some fights in the game a whole lot easier. So we'll take that there. And then at level 10, this is where we get Magical Seekers. This is where the build fully comes together. We also get another leveled spell, so Dominate Person can be an okay choice. Plant Growth is the one that I'm going to go with just for the ability to lock people down in place, quarters their movement speed. Now, this is an Ice Bard, so it's obvious that we're taking Cone of Cold. We can also go with Hunger of Hadar. This does require concentration. We do have a lot of concentration, so that is dicey, but it does cold damage, and it's a really good one to have. You can also go with the Conjure Elemental, which I think is the best choice for us, because we can use this to set up vulnerability to cold damage. So that is really big, because we can give vulnerabilities and then also deal a ton of damage off of it. Take Persuasion for the skill at this level, or I guess we get 2 of them, so you can take Persuasion and Intimidation. Dialogue options are really great to take. And then for our next level, I think it's actually best to add in one of 2 choices. We got a couple choices here. We can add in the Fighter, which will give us a fighting style, and we can take defense for a +1 armor class. And that'll give us Action Surge at level 2. We can also go with the Paladin, which will give us our Oaths, which is cool. I like the Oath of Vengeance for the Inquisitor's Might. And this is one that I want to go with because we can also get Command, which is a huge spell for us. And we also get another fighting style for the +1 armor class. So it's really all down to if you want smites or if you want to get extra damage from Action Surge. I would recommend taking all smites and then something like Bless or Divine Favor. So that's what we're going to go with there. Now, the way we're going to make this build get really powerful, I will show you in just one moment. So there's a few different items that we can use for this build. It's really dynamic. So we have a 27 armor class with the shield, our dexterity. I'm using the armor of agility. This is good for stealth. I'm also using the Sacred Star for a weapon. However, this isn't dexterity based, so I'm using a strength potion. If you're not using a strength potion, I'd recommend using the Crimson Mischief, because when you attack with advantage, you get an additional 7 piercing damage, and greater invisibility will give us more piercing damage. So that is huge. We could have also taken something in the offhand, like if we would have taken the dual wielder perk, we could have also taken the Flail of the Ages in the offhand and then buffed up our weapon. But even the Belm is a really great option for us in the offhand. We do have options for our bonus actions, so sometimes you would maybe want to go with like the Crimson Mischief plus the Blade of the First Blood, so that's another one. It'll give us an increase to our armor class in the offhand, which is nice. Helm of Baldur will give us +1 to armor class and saving throws, and give us additional 2 health points. However, the Helmet of Arcane Acuity is kind of our best choice. When you deal damage with a weapon attack, you gain Arcane Acuity for 2 turns, and that gives us a high spell save DC, making us pretty much unstoppable. I'm using the Winter's Crutches, so when we deal cold damage, we have 2 turns of Encrusted in Frost on the target, and the Snowburst Ring. This is important, because this is going to cause absolute mayhem when we attack. I'm not sure if I have any... I might have arrow many targets, but basically with Snowburst Ring, you can hit a bunch of targets and make ice around all of them, and then they'll basically just slip and fall. And it's great for taking out any type of caster. Snowburst Ring is massive. Amulet of Greater Health is good, but you can go with the Amulet of Ball too, especially if you're going first, or even like the Amulet of Devout for the +2 spell save DC, which is really nice. And then for our offhand, we want to have the Band of the Mystic Scoundrel. So after we attack a creature with a weapon attack, we can cast Illusion or Enchantment spells as a bonus action. This ring is extremely powerful because we can attack twice, and then do flourishes twice also, or flourish smites, and then also get to bonus action hold person. Very, very nice. As for our weapons, I think that it's best to go with hand crossbows, fire stoker, even like the Nair Misser, which is pure force damage, is really great. So we'll go with that there. Cloak of Protection, and then the Boots of Stormy Clamor, which when the wearer deals in a condition against a hostile target, you turn 2 turns of reverberation. So Encrusted in Frost is a status. Also, if you have ability drain dexterity, this will trigger this too. So the way that we want to do this is you want to have someone in your party have the Drake Throat Glaive. And what we're going to do is you're going to hold out your bow, so just choose a ranged weapon attack and then put it away, and you'll be holding your ranged weapon as your main weapon. So then we can take this and use the Draconic Elemental Weapon, and we're going to go with the cold version of this, so +1 to attack rolls, and it deals 1 to 4 ice damage. So we can apply this, and then now I got this bow here that does cold damage on top of that, so really nice. And that's going to proc all of our extra cold attacks. So I don't think I have Arrow of Many Targets. No, I don't. You can even use Arrow of Ice on top of this. Arrow of Fire will deal additional fire damage, which is kind of cool. So typically the way we want to approach combat, I don't have the Arrow of Many Targets, unfortunately, but you're going to do like a slashing flourish, and you're going to be able to see here, we're going to make ice surfaces there. So critical hit there. That was nice. And then it can knock people prone. Jahaira's got like no health there. So that's really good because we can not only damage people but interrupt their concentrations. So an arrow of many targets would cover this entire area with ice, and then it becomes water. So we can even use like a thunder wave to like push people back too, which is a pretty useful way of going about this, because you can keep everyone in the ice. And that's a really good way because we can also buff it up with Glyph of Wardings and deal a ton of damage. We also got, I guess I can't use this Vicious Mockery on an ally, but the way that we want to go about combat is by using our bow basically as much as possible to cause that Encrusted with Frost like that. So Encrusted with Frost, on top of that, we can also create ice surfaces and just knock everyone prone. So that is the beautiful part about this build, is you see people trip and fall all the time with it, because you can literally see everyone tripping and falling. And then as a bonus action, we can create greater invisibility and then just become invisible, get advantage on our attacks. So when we go up to stab someone, we get that additional 7 damage, which is huge amount of extra damage. We didn't even get the attack animation there. We're doing damage so quickly. But you can see all these bonus actions. We can do like hold person. We can't unfortunately do it on our allies. And even like fear, which is huge. You can cast fear on a huge group of enemies and make them drop their weapons, which is really nice. This build is pretty powerful for a number of reasons. The slashing flourishes are my favorite part of this because you can create ice on 2 targets at once with that. And if you have the arrow many targets, even better. So you typically would want to use the arrow many targets as much as you possibly could. And yeah, we're able to create a bunch of people slipping around. This build goes incredibly hard, and the bonus action crowd control afterwards is just the icing on the cake. So we only got so many bardic inspirations, so you can only do this so many times, but yeah, it's still very powerful nonetheless. Being able to knock people prone is massive, and getting critical hits like no tomorrow too. So yeah, the only downside is you can fall on your own ice, but that's why we do it from a distance with a bow. So yeah, this build is crazy. I don't think they anticipated for you to be able to use the Snowburst Ring alongside the Drake Throat to put it on a bow, but that is pretty powerful. We did that all from a distance and froze it all along the way, so that is a very powerful sword bard with ice in Baldur's Gate 3. I didn't even mention one last thing. We also got Cone of Cold. So that is like our major cold damage spell. Oh, and I didn't even mention, we also got the Conjure Elemental. And we could even do the Myrmidon. The Water Myrmidon does a water healing attack, but even just the Water Elemental. So I'll show you what this looks like. With the Water Elemental, which you can't romance a Water Elemental, for the people asking. This does cold damage, but it creates a puddle of water and also creates a vulnerability to cold damage too. So that is really nice because you can just literally set up disadvantage on attacks with that, and then we can literally just go in, and we got the ability, I'll show you here, to do our attacks. I don't have any bardic inspiration anymore, but oh, we're attacking with disadvantage here. That's not good. I guess I'll move back. I'll get attacked by the owlbear. And basically the way we want to approach this is we want to attack with our ice attacks. Raven Guard. Oh, I hit my own elemental. Crap. Well, typically what we would be doing is you turn off your offhand reaction, and then we would attack and then cast with the with an enchantment perk like Hold Person is a really great one. Command from the Paladin is another good one. Hold Monster, Tasha's Hideous Laughter. We got lots of options. My favorites being Command and Hold Person. And then we also have the Arcane Acuity there. So +1 to spell attack rolls and spell difficulty class for every turn remaining. So we can get that stacked up to +10, and then we're unstoppable at that point. With the arrow many targets, we can do a whole lot of damage. And then also our Water Elemental is pretty powerful too. So yeah, that's an Ice Bard Sword build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below, and I'll see you all in the next video.